The Random Jottings of Donald J. from Nelson in Pendle. Sister's ghost location. Blackpool residents in the FY2 area. Local press reported on a case in which a tenant requested the council rehouse him after he encountered his neighbour's dead sister in the property. The tenant provided photographs of the entity, although it was reported the council were able to reproduce the images using a ghost app. Once upon a time, in the coastal town of Blackpool, there was a man named Thomas who lived in the FY2 area. Thomas was an ordinary tenant, living in a small residence in a quiet neighbourhood. However, his life took a bizarre turn when he had a chilling encounter with the supernatural. It was around the year 2016 when strange events started to unfold. Thomas began noticing unusual occurrences in his home. Objects would move on their own, and he could hear faint whispers echoing through the empty rooms. At first, he dismissed it as his imagination playing tricks on him, but as the days went by, the phenomenon intensified. One fateful evening, as Thomas was sitting in his living room, he heard a soft sobbing coming from the adjacent property. Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to investigate the source of the sound. Knocking on his neighbour's door, he expected to find a distressed resident in need of help. However, the door swung open to reveal an empty and abandoned home. Confused and slightly unnerved, Thomas ventured inside the vacant property. As he walked through the dimly lit rooms, a chilling sensation crawled up his spine. And then, in the corner of his eye, he saw a figure, a ghostly apparition of a young woman. The ghostly figure appeared translucent, her features hauntingly beautiful yet filled with sorrow. It was his neighbour's sister, the one who had passed away years ago. Thomas felt a mixture of fear and compassion as he looked at the ethereal presence before him. With trembling hands, he reached for his phone and captured a series of photographs. He wanted to document this supernatural encounter as proof of what he had witnessed. The images revealed the ghostly figure, confirming that he wasn't hallucinating or imagining things. Filled with a mix of awe, curiosity, and a hint of fear, Thomas contacted the local council to inform them about the paranormal activity he had experienced. He believed that the council should rehouse him, as living next to a ghostly presence was unnerving and unsettling. The council, however, remained skeptical of Thomas' claims. They suspected that the photographs could have been manipulated or created using some sort of ghost app. To verify the authenticity of the images, they conducted their own investigation. After careful analysis, the council discovered that the images indeed had similarities to some ghostly filters and effects available on certain apps. They concluded that the photographs were not substantial evidence of a real ghostly presence but rather a product of digital manipulation. Disheartened by the council's dismissal of his experience, Thomas felt frustrated. However, deep down, he knew what he had seen and felt was real. Undeterred, he decided to continue living in his residence, determined to coexist with the spirit of his neighbour's deceased sister. Over time, Thomas developed a unique bond with the ghostly presence. He would often find comfort in her ethereal company and even began leaving flowers in her memory. The once terrifying encounters gradually transformed into moments of solace and tranquility. The story of Thomas and the ghostly sister became a local legend in Blackpool. People would share tales of the haunted residence in hushed whispers, adding a touch of mystery and intrigue to the neighbourhood. And while skeptics doubted the existence of the ghost, Thomas and a few others knew the truth of their supernatural encounters. Thomas passed away peacefully in his home many years later, leaving behind a legacy of his extraordinary experiences. Some believed that he had finally reunited with the spirit of his neighbour's sister in the afterlife, finding eternal peace together. To this day, the story of the haunted residence in Blackpool lingers, reminding us that sometimes, there are mysteries that defy explanation, and the boundaries between the living and the departed may not be as clear as they seem. By Donald J.